guys, Cara Fire, and welcome back to Conan Exiles. Today we're going to be looking at the new loot tables from factions on today's video. So we're going to be looking over the main camps that you would usually visit, such as Buccaneers Bay, the Den, New Asagarth, Sepermaru, and many more. I've done a full round of all of these camps and collected all of their loot to show you how the new loot table is today, and that your old paths might not be as good as previously thought. And we'll be starting off with Sepermaru, aka Set City, and having a look there. This is no longer the hot spot for hardened leather and steel, which is saddening for me to say, but a lot of the new loot these days, especially in the NPC camps, is a lot of furniture items, and sometimes you can get lucky to get certain weapons and tools and stuff, which is a nice addition, and a few knickknacks, along the way. But one thing I noticed a hell of a lot of when I was looting the chests here was I got a lot of paintings, and I mean a lot of paintings. Like, you're gonna have a lot of decorations for your house when you now go farming. The only thing that's kind of bad about this is furniture is quite heavy, so I'm not sure that picking up all this furniture is going to be ideal. So you're definitely going to want to look into having something like a bearer or an elephant or a rhino or something to help you out. Either way, if we come back here, this is my area where I've collected a full collection of loot, and I kind of wanted to show you my entire harvest of what I had. So as you can see, it's a lot of furniture items, taxidermy sand reapers, braziers, weapons and tools. I mean, the tools are nice. I mean, it'd be pretty happy to get a hardened steel hatchet with full durability, and you got armor flexibility kits, and all of these seem to be full durability items. The grave digger, I also received that. I'd be over the moon if I received that. That's a nice drop you can get for Sepermaru, and then you can see even more furniture. It's a lot of furniture. Now I was thinking, they were saying dismantling is going to be the new way to go this season, so one thing I do want to do, and we'll have a look in here as well because I gained some materials in here like golds and silvers and other stuff. We're going to dismantle a lot of this and see what it gives us. I've ground it all down, and this is what we're left with, which actually looks a lot better once you grind it down, I'm not going to lie. Although I do really miss the steel bars and the hardened leather. But it's not so bad once you grind it down. It's actually quite profitable if you do grind it down, and I could ground down a lot of it. A few items here I couldn't, and those are the items you'll see in here, like the skeletal decoration didn't want grinding, neither did the brazier, so yeah, that is what you're left with. And yeah, it's not too bad. Once you grind it down, it's fine. You do get a lot of silk though, but that's not bad. I'm quite happy with the 145 shapen wood and the 192 insulated wood, and this is from one entire farm of the entire city. So actually it looks pretty terrible, but once I ground it, it actually looks a lot nicer now that I have done that. Either way, that's our loot from Sepermaru. That is one spin. You could get different results if you do it yourself, as you might get more luck getting some items more than I did. That is one farm of Sepermaru and gives you a really good idea of what you get. Next, we'll be moving on to the summoning place, where I did some farming over there. Now, the summoning place doesn't have as many chests, and in this experiment, I did not kill off the NPCs for their loot. So if you do kill them off, they will drop a lot of their armor and items. So you can get additional loot and perhaps nice materials if you were to kill off those NPCs and loot their bodies, because they will drop nicer stuff now. So I would highly recommend doing that, but I just wanted to look at the loot table specifically in this video. Either way, once I did that, so I can show you what I got from it. It's a lot of primitive stuff, which I mean is to be expected if you're farming from the Dafari. I even got the effigy doll, which is a treasure item that is newly coming in this time around. Prayer to Yog I also got, and just a bunch of Dafari bits and bobs. Taxidermy rock nose, very nice, and I think that's all the treasure I got. Now we have dismantled it all. This is what we're left with, which honestly I'm not that surprised on what loot we got here, as Dafari have never been that amazing. However, this treasure will be useful, and yeah, if you want it early on for loot, then it could be useful, especially for horns for your armor, and just generic bits and bobs could be a nice addition. Next, we move on to Buccaneers Bay, which usually is pretty good to farm. You do get quite a few food items, But we'll see what we get this time. I looted all the chests on the chefing area on land and on the boat, so you can see a mixture of treasures and non-treasures. I did not get the treasure under the sea though, because that is a entirely different table of loot, which will just give you gold generally, and I wouldn't really count that as the Buccaneers loot. And this one we get a lot of loot out of. I got 2 chests full of loot, which should be expected. I got a lot of iron items, beer and stuff like that, which, yeah, seafood, food. This one actually drops a lot of food, which I have realised, and a lot of food and a decent amount of gold. Now I've ground them, I kind of want to give you, I put it in a couple of chests, the stuff that got left over. So you actually do get a lot of raw resources from these guys. And then the stuff I ground down, there you go. You actually get a decent amount of iron out of these guys, and pretty much that's the best thing you get from these. Unless you want a load of drinks and raw materials like foods and random bits of hide, that's what they seem to be good for. Moving on to the den, a pretty good area to go for chests that are up high. This could probably be like a good area like Sepermaru is to rush through and get loot without feeling much contest from the NPCs in the area. You can pretty much go through most of this without getting in any trouble, as a lot of it is climbing for chests, so this could be a good one to look at. And we got a big variety of loot here. You will get quite a bit of gold here as well, because atop of the scaffolding they have, a lot of the times they will have gold chests in this area. And coming back to in-game, the den, this is what we got. I actually got some quite nice items through here. I was surprised it was better than Buccaneers Bay, really, because I got some steel items for it and some hardened steel items for it. And of course the vessel sword, which was a nice little addition, and a katana. Seems to be quite a few weapon drops, and I got some treasure drops as well from this one, as well as a few knickknacks around the place. It does seem a little bit nicer for loot in this area, I must admit. Now I've ground it down, let's have a little look what we have. And I was pretty impressed with what we got from this one, I'm not gonna lie guys. It's quite a good loot, this one is. And depending on what items you pick up, of course, might differ a little bit on what you get from your grindables, but it's honestly quite a well-balanced loot set, this one. So we have a lot of gold, silver, we have a few nice bits of bars, kits, gold bars, silk. Silk seems to be something you're going to get a lot of, so you might not need to really bother with spiders if you do all this loot grinding down. Hot fiery soup, nice for going up north, nice shaped wood. I do like a little bit of steel as well, and a decent amount of iron, so more worth to go here than Buccaneers Bay if you want to farm something out. But a nice kind of like well-balanced source of loot, this one. Next one we're going to is New Asagarth, which used to be really good for like steel farming and just leather in general. And we're going to see what I got from it. Honestly though, it wasn't too inspiring, if I'm honest with you, what I got out of it. But we'll see, there was quite a few items. I think one of the things I liked the most getting out of it was I got some Demon Fire Orbs, which is a nice addition, and some oil, which is always well appreciated. But it seemed to be doing the same as a Set City loot, as in it gave me quite a few pictures again. So we'll see what I can grind out of that. And here we go, the results. So this time I got quite a bit of insulated wood. We got a decent amount of hardened steel bar, which is a nice addition from the grinding. That's mainly from the cleavers I had. Steel bar, iron bar, and then just the general kind of necessities down below. Honestly, for the camp it is, and how high it is up north, it wasn't that inspiring for loot. The biggest loot I got was stone, so it's not great, if I'm honest with you guys, unless you want to get lucky on getting some hardened steel tools out of it. Or maybe some oil, or some fittings, like the spike weapon fitting. I mean, I'd be pretty happy about that. Or a little bit loose change on the hardened steel bar. If you can get lucky with drops from that, might be a nice addition for you guys. Next one I'm going to is Mounds of the Dead, which is also a really popular spot for loot farming and seeing what you guys can get out of it. So we're going to go over there and have a plunge out of their chests and see what we got. Now this one was much better for loot variety, I feel. Although again, like I'm seeing throughout of all these faction loots, I feel like there is too much furniture now. Like there needs to be less furniture and more other stuff. Like I feel like this is an absurd amount of furniture we are getting from all the NPCs now, and I don't even know if we could even use this much furniture. I mean, I'm getting like 12 and 6 of these paintings. Like, I'm not going to store them all on the wall. I feel like you could probably make an art gallery of the same pictures next time Conan opens up, if they keep this loot set exactly how it is. Either way, coming back here, and we'll have a look at my haul today. We did just get one chest though, because a lot of it, again, 12 braziers. I don't need 12 braziers and 8 forgotten clan banners out of one farm. That's ridiculous. But yeah, star metal repair hammer, love that. Hardened steel pick, love that. You can see hardened steel everywhere, lovely. Gonna get some nice grind out of that. Going down, lots of gold, silver. And then the rest is just a little uninspiring. I mean, why do I need 23 ceramatic jars? Like, why? It's a lot. But yeah, questionable cauldrons I got 3 of, which the questionable cauldrons used to be from Twitch drops, I believe. So now you'll actually be able to get them from these chests once again. So if you missed out on that, you'll be able to get it from doing just the normal chest now. Either way, I'm going to grind this down. You can see I've got a couple of treasures in there. Well, I'm going to grind it down, see what we get out of it, and see what is behind all of this. Now I've ground it down, we're going to be looking at some of the loot in here, and this is a bit better than the other one, but still not that inspiring, if I'm honest with you. So we got a few nice knickknacks in here. I always like extra bars. Extra bars is always nice, and there we go. That's kind of what you get. You get some hardened steel, star metal spares, iron bar, insulated wood, shaped wood. You might get more treasures. The cauldron doesn't grind down for some reason, so you'll be stuck with a lot of cauldrons. And then we just have some other scrappy bits and bobs in here. And that brings me pretty much full circle when it comes to NPC faction camps around the map. The big main ones anyway, they usually farm from. Now, I do think these do seem a little lackluster. Some of them do, at least. But I think your best bet for loot these days is definitely dungeons, and I think I will be doing definitely a video about the dungeons and loot sets. I will go and loot all of them out and see what I get at the end of them, and I think the results will be much better. So I think now they really want you to go in dungeons now. You go around your NPC camps and do all of that, but they really do want you in dungeons. But do remember, you'll still get decent and nice loot out of killing and looting the NPC body items. Just to give you a small idea on the NPC loot, if you don't know what I mean, is some of them can drop quite a few bits and bobs. So you could grab their armor off of them, some extra nice bits on there. There you go. Golem parts, all sorts. What does he drop? Oh, nice. There you go. So yeah, some of them could drop nice stuff like that. Some of them could drop their full clothing, and some of them can drop even their weapons. So if you can get that out as extras, it can be like a nice little extra piece for you. Let me try and get some more down so you can see. Ah, here we go. Out this nice lady, she gave me some steel pointies. So yeah, that would be a nice drop. Although it's not a very common drop. But the NPC loot does seem to be a bit better than before. But yeah, you're going to get less raw materials now in general. So less bars, less leather, you know, stuff like that. Which I do find sad, because I really enjoyed doing my loot runs through Set City, but the ages are changing, I guess, and definitely dungeons will be the place to go. But you'll have to see that in the next video, because this one is already going to be quite a chunky one, where we are looking at all the loot and stuff like that. Let me know what you think about this new loot, and if you like it, or do you prefer the old system where you used to get a few sticks and bones? I think it's a decent change myself, although some of it does need revising quite a bit, as it's not quite perfect yet. Especially with all the furniture. There is a lot of furniture. If they do stick with it though, I think it would be really funny if someone does make an entire furniture shop for the amount that they are going to get, because it is a lot, and I feel like you could easily pull that off. Anyways, thank you for watching, I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!